My name is Evelyn Chen. I'm a cybersecurity engineer. Not basement hackers, I'm licensed white hat. My quiet life ended when my sister called. Stella is 2 years older, 5 million followers. Her life is parties and online photos. I only stare at cold hex code all day. My phone buzzed. Stella was crying. Video connected. Her mascara was smeared.
Evelyn, you have to save me.
What now?
Mom set me up with Adrian Sterling.
Isn't he perfect?
He hates vain influencers. I'll be exposed. So you go instead of me.
You're insane.
We look alike. Wig and clothes will hide it.
I'm an engineer, not a liar. I thought of Mom's fragile heart. Just once, you owe me forever. She smiled through tears. 3 days later, I wore Stella's dress and wig. In the mirror, same face, different gaze. Host led me to a room with city view. Adrian, 27, 3 billion, quiet look.
Stella?
Call me Eva.
Sit down, drink.
Just water.
I'm a secretary consultant. He asked tech questions, I told my real job. His fingers brushed my shoulder lightly.
I want to see you tomorrow night.
One blind date is enough. He drove off, wind blew my wig strands. 13 messages from Stella. He asked you out? Say yes. I shut my phone, stood under streetlight. I recalled his Server magazine cover. We both live by logic. I was just a fake Stella. The next morning, Stella showed up at my door. She wore pajamas, messy hair, red swollen eyes. She pushed in, walked to the couch and buried her face in a cushion.
You ruined my love life.
What love life? You haven't met him.
I've lived a whole life with him in my head.
Stella, this isn't a game.
Did he send flowers? Did he ask you out again?
No flowers. He asked. I said no.
You said no?
So many women want him. He's never dated publicly. You're the first.
Because I'm not you.
What do you mean?
He wants someone who understands quantum computing. I shouldn't have gone. She fell silent, fridge humming, sunlight on her feet.
So what are you gonna do?
Nothing. He'll forget me soon enough.
What if he doesn't?
I didn't answer. I knew he wouldn't forget. Men like him never let go once interested, crazy in business and love. Sure enough, the next day a delivery arrived. A plain white box with no note. Inside is a gold USB engraved with letter A. I plugged it in, only one photo inside. Text below, missing someone who understands it. I stared. He looked me up and knew I wasn't Stella. I picked up the phone and called Stella. He knows.
Knows what?
Knows I'm not you.
How?
Because I left him clues. Staring at the photo, cursor blinking, rain outside. Day 3, the second gift arrived. Uniform man at door with fluffy white Alaskan Banalhassid, icy blue eyes. Dog sticks tongue out, tail wagging wildly.
Ms. Chen?
I'm not.
Mr. Sterling sent him for your company. He's smarter than you expect.
She squats and pets the dog. It licks her warm hand.
What's his name?
No name. You get to pick it.
She stands up. The dog rises right beside her. Take him back. I can't accept this.
If you refuse, he will be sent to an animal shelter.
You win. The man leaves. She shuts the door. Dog sits by her feet.
Adrian?
She tries the name Adrian. The dog barks.
Too heavy.
He barks again.
Then Forbes?
He sneezes. She laughs for the first time in ages, names him Chip. He wags his tail.
Chip. Good. You're Chip.
Chip jumps up, front paws on her knees, pamping. She strokes his woolly fur. Sun breaks through clouds onto his coat.
Phone buzzes with Adrian's text about feeding and walking.
How did you know I'd take him?
You couldn't bear to say no, so you never blocked me. She holds phone, lost in thought. Chip sleeps belly out on the carpet.
Chip, your dad's insane.
Chip snores softly.
Day 4. The gifts kept coming. Smart self-watering pot with dewy red rose. Connects to mobile app. She takes a photo and sends it via phone. You couldn't just buy roses? Store-bought roses die, this one won't, because you're here. She puts down phone. Chip sniffs the pot and sneezes.
You think he's crazy too?
Chip tilts its head and stares at her. Stella drops by at night, screams upon seeing Chip.
You got a dog? I thought you feared dogs. I'm not afraid of dogs. I just hate trouble. Then why did you keep it?
She makes tea and sits on sofa. Chip rests head on her slipper. Stella sits opposite and says Evelyn has changed.
You've changed. How exactly have I changed?
You only act out of necessity before. Are you falling for him?
No, I only find him intriguing.
Interesting enough to send gifts every single day?
I want to figure out and study him. You hide feelings with logic, but your eyes are glowing.
She admits it's true. The light isn't love. Someone saw Evelyn instead of Stella. Day 5, a certificate, lunar land deed, certificate with moon map, Evelyn owns plot 4221 permanently, bottom right signed Adrian Sterling. She nearly spits coffee on screen. Chip wakes abruptly and looks around warily. Voice he picks up faint amusement.
She calls him. Received it?
Lunar land deed?
Yeah, bought online for $39.99.
You know this is a scam, right?
I know it's fake, but I'd buy you the whole moon anyway.
She falls silent. Chip nudges her hand. She strokes its head.
Adrian, why are you doing this?
Because I wanted you to know. You're not a stand-in.
What do you mean?
Flashback, loose thread on dress she brushed off. Stella never overlooks tiny flaws.
Her fingers freeze mid-pet on Chip's ear.
You knew I wasn't her all along?
From your first line, Stella never thanks waiters, but you did.
Then why didn't you call me out?
Because the one I like is you.
That night, I couldn't sleep. Not because of what Adrian said, because my brain was running at full speed, analyzing his motives, behavior patterns, his psychology. It's my occupational hazard. Any system I see, I want to take apart and see how it works. Chip slept on the rug beside my bed, looting data. The lights were electrical frequencies, he's one I wanted to crack. I tossed and turned, finally picking up my phone and texting him. What do you actually want?
You.
I'm not merchandise.
I know, that's why I'm pursuing.
With lunar land deeds?
With honesty, aside from the weird gifts, I haven't lied to you.
I stared at the screen, my fingers hovering over the keyboard. Then I typed, what if I said I don't want to be in a relationship?
Then I'll wait.
Until when?
Until you do.
I told you, I'm not Stella. I don't have followers, fame, or a pretty face. I'm a woman programmer who sits in front of a computer drinking cold coffee. I know, and that's the one I see. I tossed my phone to the footers over my head. Chip woke up at the commotion, came over, and nudged me with his nose. I reached out from under the blanket and scratched his head.
Chip, your dad is really annoying.
Chip licked my fingers.
But he's a little cute when he's annoying.
Chip licked again. I laughed, into my blanket, silent. Not from happiness. From being seen. Day 6, the gifts kept coming. This time, a set of keys. A car key, a house key, a safe key. The label read, passcode is your birthday. I didn't go to the garage, didn't look at the house. I hung the keys on the hook by the door, took a photo, and sent it. Adrian, I can't accept these.
Then hold on them for me.
Why would I do that?
Because you're the only person who wouldn't steal them.
I stood at the door, my fingers on the keys. Metal, cold, heavy. Each one represented a promise, a responsibility, a weight I didn't want to carry. Chip trotted over and nudged my hand.
Does your dad think money grows on trees?
Chip wagged his tail.
You think he's crazy too?
Chip licked my fingers. That afternoon, Stella came over. She saw the keys and her eyes went wide as dinner plates.
Evelyn, do you know how much those keys are worth? Don't know, don't want to. He's giving you a car, a house, a safe. You know he's pursuing you, not Stella, you. I know. Then why don't you say yes? Because I don't want to be pursued. I want to be understood.
Stella looked at me, for once without a retort. Day 7, all gifts, texts and calls stopped. Chip lies by the door, ears up to listen to hallway sounds. I feel a little upset, not for gifts but his sudden silence. After a week of constant contact, the quiet feels like an unfinished song. He may toy with me, find another person, or know I'm just his sister's blind date stand-in. No news on day 8 and 9. Chip grows anxious, pacing and sniffing the door crack. On the 10th night, I sit before the computer with idle fingers. His last message, I'll wait, blinking on chat window.
Chip, do you miss him? Me too.
At 2 a.m., I can't hold back and text him. Are you okay? No instant read resistert. I stare 10 minutes then power off the phone. Chip sleeps by my feet, kicking legs as if running in dreams. On day 11, he texted, the company's been hit, cyber attack. It's a plain line with no tone, yet I spot the exhaustion only coders can tell. His chat curse lit up at 4 a.m. and went dark at 5 a.m. I ponder hard, his top-tier corporate firewalls are hard to breach. My fingers itch, driven by the urge to crack this tough problem. Adrian's HQ is 500 miles from LA. I drove 5 hours and arrived at 3 a.m. The building stayed brightly lit all night. No one was at the front desk. Security checked my ID and let me in. The elevator took me to the 17th floor, a corridor with glass walls. I saw the server room filled with deep blue lights. Adrian sat alone in the messy server room, exhausted and disheveled. He looked worn out yet sharp, staring at the screen like a vigilant wolf.
Adrian.
You came.
Chip snores softly at my feet. I call him, and he picks up after 5 rings.
Adrian,
Evelyn,
do you need help?
you're a security expert.
I'm not an expert, just someone who can read code.
That's enough.
I hang up and put on my coat. Chip follows me to the door wagging its tail. I tell Chip I'll visit its dad and leave it home. It sits staring at me brightly. I pet its head and head out. You needed help, right?
I did not expect you to show up.
I'm repaying your 7-day gifts, we're even.
You saw the attack data?
It's ransomware. Your core data is encrypted. Do you have backups? Yes, but I need your access. He bent down, entered his password, and stepped back. I wrote the decryption script in the quiet server room. In 40 minutes, the data was restored and the alarm stopped. I sighed in relief while Adrian stayed silent behind me. He crouched beside me and stared at the code.
You solved this alone?
They had the foundation, I just plugged the holes.
They struggled for 3 days. You finished in an hour.
They were tired, and you haven't slept.
Under the blue light, his eyes looked deep and relieved, like he'd finally found someone. You are no replacement. You saved me.
Stand up. The floor is cold.
I won't stand until you promise me one thing.
What is it?
Don't leave.
I know. Then why ask me to stay?
The company doesn't need you. I need you.
I gazed at his weary face. I came to fix the hack, not for you.
But you came anyway.
I came because you asked for help.
You've helped me. Are you leaving now?
I will keep sending your fee until you accept it. I did not reply and drove home at 5:17 a.m. The sunrise over the highway looked like spilled paint. My dog Chip greeted me at the door.
Chip, your dad is a good man.
Chip wagged his tail.
But good people don't always fit together.
Chip tilted his head. His last message remained, I'll wait. I typed and deleted repeatedly, unsure what to say. After that day, Adrian stopped sending gifts, but he sent one message every day. Not love notes, not please, just one line. Day 1, did Chip eat today? Day they watered prayed at myself today, still alive. Day 4, I sent the consulting feed again, that one you wouldn't take. Day 5, I dreamed you ignored me today, woke up to find it was true. Chip lay by the door every day, ears pressed for hallway sounds. Every time someone passed, he'd jump up, ran to the door, tail wigging, but it was never Adrian. He'd come back, disappointed, lie at my feet, and sigh. Dog sigh. I never knew that. I read every message, but didn't reply. I returned the consulting fee. He sent it again. I returned it again. He sent it a third time. I didn't return it, but I didn't touch it either. The money sat in my account like a splinter, reminding me I still owed him an answer. 2 weeks later, Stella came. She brought flowers not from Adrian, from herself. She put them in a vase on the coffee table, then sat across from me.
Evelyn, why won't you see him? Because I was your stand-in. That happened 3 months ago. He's not chasing Stella anymore. He's chasing Aoife Ling. I don't want to be in a relationship. You're scared. Stella, I watched him kneel in front of that server. Not proposing, because he'd finally found someone who could help him. I'm not his girlfriend, I'm his tool. Tool? He gave you a car, a house, a lunar land deed?
All of that. Because he doesn't know me. Someone who knows me would give me a book, or a new keyboard, not a car.
Then how do you know he doesn't? You won't even see him.
I didn't answer. Chip ran over, jumped onto Stella's lap, and nudged her hand with his head. Stella scratched his head.
Evelyn, even your dog misses him.
Chip misses his food.
Chip misses the person who brought him.
I stood and walked to the window. Outside, LA's sky was blue, but I saw gray. Not because he wasn't there, because I'd been lying to myself. I thought I was protecting myself. Really, I was running from the possibility that he actually saw me. I decided to see him, not because I'd softened, because I owed him an answer. I asked to meet at the cafe downstairs from his office, neutral ground. I picked a corner spot, back to the wall, eyes on the door. When he came, he was wearing a sweater, jeans, and sneakers. He wasn't wearing a suit or a tie, shedding the external trappings of the workplace. He saw me, smiled, and sat across.
You lost weight.
So did you.
How's Chip?
Good. Fatter.
He nodded. Our coffees came, both black, no sugar. He held his cup, steam fogging his face.
Adrian, I came to tell you.
I know what you're going to say. You don't like me. You just find me interesting.
It's not that I don't like you.
Then what?
I'm not sure. I don't know if you really see me, or if you just see someone who can help you.
The first time we met, you said thank you to the waiter. When you sat down, you brushed a loose thread on your dress. You said you're a cybersecurity consultant. You answered without hesitation, without polish, without a filter. What I saw was you, not Stella, not a stand-in, you.
How do you know it wasn't an act?
Because an actress wouldn't stay up all night detricting for someone she'd met once.
Adrian, I'm not afraid of you. I'm afraid of myself. I'm afraid that once I start, I'll go all in, like cracking that code and forget who I am.
Then forget yourself. I'll remember you.
I looked at him for a long time. The coffee got was cold. 3-month trial, not fake girlfriend, real.
What?
I said, 3 months, fail and we're done. He smiled, not the faint one, but the kind that crinkled his eyes like a kid's.
Deal.
I extended my hand. He took it, warm, different from the cool handshake at our first meeting. Trial period, day 1. I went to his company. Not a date. Work. He said the company's security system needed an upgrade, asked if I could do it. I said yes, on the condition that I charge the normal rate and he didn't try to give me a house. He agreed. Time he was in the server room, just like the first time. Blue lights, humming servers, the smell of med beside. We tapped at our keyboards, exchanging words now and then. This port has issues. But I don't have access.
I'll open it for you.
Thanks.
Shortcut conversations, but comfortable, that wordless understanding, like two gears meshing.
Chip was at home with a sitter. He wasn't happy about me being away. But when I got home, he pounced, wagging his tail, licking my face.
Chip, how was your day?
Chip barked.
Mine was pretty good too.
One of the trial, we started learning each other's real lives. He woke at 6 a.m. every day, office ran, then went into the vegetarian, not for faith. His stomach couldn't handle meat, didn't drink, smoke, didn't smike, see. Only one friend, partied, and college roommates.
What about you?
I eat coffee, not drink, eat, because drinking isn't enough.
How does your stomach handle that?
I have Chip, he shares the burden.
How does a dog share?
I vent to him, he falls asleep. He laughed out loud. First time I saw his teeth, white, even. When he smiled, looked like an ordinary guy, not the Forbes cover boy. That night I got home, Chip at my feet, and I told him about my day. He didn't fall asleep. He listened, eyes bright.
Chip, your dad has a nice smile.
Chip wagged his tail.
But I'm not telling him that. He'll get a big head.
Chip licked my fingers. Week 2, his ex-girlfriend showed up. Her name was Natalie, a model, blonde, tall. She came to the office to talk about old business. I heard voices from the server room, but I didn't step out.
Natalie's here. She wants to get back together.
Then go talk to her.
I don't want to talk to her. I just want to stay here with you.
Adrian, hiding in here won't fix it.
She wants Adrian Sterling, not Adrian.
Then tell her.
How?
Use your words.
He was quiet for a moment, then stood and walked out. 10 minutes later, he came back, looking lighter.
Done?
Done. I told her I have a girlfriend.
Really?
Really.
You didn't mention me by name?
No. Just said she's a very capable person.
Then you weren't wrong.
He smiled. That night, Chip lay at my feet and I told him the story. Chip yawned. He didn't care about exes, only whether there'd be kibble tomorrow. In the 3rd week of my probation, I met his mother. We met by accident at the office hallway. She wore a neat Chanel suit with tidy hair, looking elegant.
Who are you? I'm Evelyn.
I know you took your sister's blind date.
You know about it?
Adrian tells me everything. You look thinner than in your photos.
I'm shorter than my photos.
You are quite interesting.
I'm just telling the truth.
My son never lies and dislikes liars. He likes you because you are truthful.
He doesn't like me. He only finds me interesting.
Being interested means liking. He would never stay 3 months with someone boring.
She left. I stood frozen with a coffee cup in hand, my fingers cold.
Adrian walked out of the server room and saw me stunned.
What did my mom say to you?
She said you never tell lies.
I don't.
So do you like me?
Yes.
Why?
Because I like you for who you are, not someone else.
I stared at the hot, bitter brown coffee and took a sip.
I like you too.
What did you say?
He said I like you too. He stood motionless, then smiled like a child. He walked over and hugged me warmly, a hug of long-awaiting ears waiting for someone. I hung up and put on my coat. Chip followed me to the door wagging its tail. I told it to stay home and check on Dad. It sat staring at me brightly, and I left after pawing its head. Week 4 marked our first argument. We argued over work for half an hour in the server room. He wanted to buy a secretary firm, while I thought its tech was poor. He doubted my tech sense, and I doubted his business judgment. He sat down, covered his face, and admitted I was right about his lack of tech knowledge. You're not wrong, just not specialized in tech.
How can you tell that firm is incompetent?
I hacked their system 3 days ago. Their code is as messy as a student's homework.
You hacked them, and they found nothing?
They spotted anomalies but blamed their own system, even hired outsiders who found 0 flaws. He leaned back and said I was a dangerous person. I'm not dangerous, merely thorough.
He smiled and decided to drop the acquisition, leaving the call to me.
Are you certain about this?
Yes, you understand tech far better than me.
That night I told Chip about our feat as it lay like the as if celebrating my win. I stroked its head, thinking victory at work does not equal success in love, which is never a contest. First month of the trial ended. We sat on the beach in Santa Monica, not the one from the house he'd offered but a public one. Shoes off, feet in the sand. Chip ran around beside us, chasing waves, getting scared back, chasing again, backing off again.
Evelyn, do you think the trial period is over?
Only a month. 2 more to go.
How do you think I'm doing?
Not bad.
Not bad out of what?
70.
Only 70?
You haven't met my family yet. He was quiet. I knew what he was thinking. My family, Stella, the sister who'd filled in for him, the one who was wary of him. Those were mine to face, not his. Adrian, if you're scared, you can back out.
I'm not scared. I'm just thinking about how to get your sister to accept me.
It doesn't matter if she accepts you. What matters is how you treat me.
So how am I doing?
Not bad.
He laughed. Chip ran over, shook off the seawater and soaked us. We laughed and dodged. That night on the way home, Chip fell asleep in the back. Adrian drove. I was in the passenger's seat. An old song played low on the radio. I watched the night pass, fingers tapping a soft rhythm on my knee.
Evelyn.
Came here for Adrian. She booked the cafe and dressed up on purpose, but she didn't tell me. I closed my lap the surveillance and went down in the hallway. Stella sat leaning toward Adrian. He drank calmly. I walked over and sat beside them.
Stella, you looking for me? No. I'm looking for Adrian.
I'm his girlfriend. You find him, you find me.
Evelyn, you've changed. You didn't talk like this before.
I didn't have someone this important before. Adrian glanced at me and smiled.
I don't object, but promise me one thing.
What?
Don't hurt her. She is not just a coder. She is my sister and best friend.
I won't.
Stella stood up, glanced at me and then turned around and left. I sat across from him.
You're crying.
I'm not.
Your eyes are red.
It's the wind.
There's no wind.
Then it's coffee steam.
Evelyn, you're crying.
I'm not.
He wiped my eye. His finger turned wet.
You're crying, he said softly.
I'm scared of losing you, losing her, and being alone again.
Anything.
Don't kneel again. Stand up. Only standing people can go further. He stood up and hugged me. People watched us, laughed and clapped. I didn't know why. Maybe for love or just boarding. At that moment, I was no longer scared. Week 6, Chip got sick. He wouldn't eat, wouldn't drink, just lay by the door, eyes half closed. I carried him to the vet. They said he had something in his stomach, needed surgery. My hand was shaking when I signed the consent form. Adrian has arrived. After receiving the call, he came straight from work, still wearing his lab coat. He came without changing his clothes.
What happened to Chip?
He swallowed something. Probably part of a toy.
He crouched down and scratched Chip's head. Chip's eyes lit up for a moment, then closed.
You're crying.
I'm not.
Your eyes are red.
I don't like hospitals.
He took my hand, his was warm. The surgery took 2 hours. I paced the hallway, back and forth, back and forth. He sat in a chair, didn't leave, didn't speak, just watched me pace. Chip came out. The vet had removed a piece of plastic, a part of that smart flower pot. Chip had chewed it up. I held the piece in my hand for a long time.
Chip, why did you eat that?
Chip licked my hand.
Because he wanted to be part of your life.
He already is.
He wants more.
I looked at Chip, his tired eyes, his tongue licking my fingers. He was a gift from Adrian. He'd eaten something Adrian gave him. He missed him, just like I missed him.
Adrian, where do you live?
The office.
You live at the office?
Yeah. The couch.
You don't have a home?
I do. But you're not there.
I was silent for a long time. Move in with me.
What?
Move in with me. Chip needs you. And I need you too.
The trial period isn't over.
Then end it early.
He smiled, like a kid.
He moved in. 1 suitcase, a guitar, and the rose from the smart pot. It had bloomed, red, dew still on room windowsill next to my plants. Chip circled the suitcase 3 times, then jumped in and refused to come out. Chip, that's luggage. Chip ignored me.
He thinks it's his bed.
Then you can live in the suitcase.
Chip wagged his tail, poking his head out of the suitcase, eyes bright as glass marbles. That night, he took the couch, I took the bed. Chip slept beside him. I lay in bed tossing and turning, listening to the living room. He shifted, the couch creaked. Chip yawned.
Adrian,
Yeah.
are you cold?
Not cold. I have a dog.
Chip is a dog, not a blanket.
He's warmer than a blanket.
Then sleep.
Good night.
I closed my eyes but couldn't sleep, not me because of noise, because it was too quiet. Quiet enough to hear his breathing, in and out, like waves. I listened till morning came. Life together was calmer than I'd expected. He went to the office every morning, I went a little later. I had an office, but I liked the server room. Quiet, blue lights, humming servers, the smell of metal in the air. It comfamied me sometimes with coffee, black, no sugar.
Busy today?
Yeah, you?
Same.
We sat in our own chairs drinking coffee, staring at screens, no words. But that silence wasn't the silence of strangers, it was understanding. Chip slept at our feet, snoring.
Why do you like the server room?
Because there are no lies here.
Why?
Because code doesn't lie, people do. Code just throws errors.
So do you ever lie to code?
No. Because lying code doesn't run.
So you won't lie to me either?
No.
Because I'm like code?
Because you're more important than code.
He blinked. Then he smiled, his eyes curving like crescent moons.
Month 3 of the trial, he suddenly disappeared. Not really gone, just unreachable. No calls answered, no messages replied. The office said he'd taken leave. I went to his old apartment, locked. I stood at the door, my hand on the handle, cold, heavy. Chip paced at my feet, restless. He'd never done this, even when we barely knew each other, he'd replied. I started worrying, was something wrong? Had his ex come back? I sat in the living room all night, didn't sleep. Chip lay at my feet, his head on my slippers. Outside, LA's lights slowly went out. And the sun came up. The next morning, the door opened.
He stood there, holding a box.
Where did you go?
To pick something up.
What?
He walked in, sat on the couch, and placed the box on the coffee table. He opened it, inside was a ring.
Not diamond, silver, with circuit board patterns engraved on it.
This is my proposal ring. Custom made. I waited 2 months for it.
You disappeared for a whole day to pick this up?
Yes, because I wanted to give it to you on the last day of the trial.
The trial period isn't over yet. There's still an hour left. I looked at him, dark circles, cracked lips, messy hair. He didn't look like a $3 billion tech mogul. He looked like an ordinary man who'd stayed up all night to see his girlfriend.
Why didn't you call?
Because I wanted to see your face.
Not on video. He wanted the real thing, not digital. I sat beside him, my fingers on the ring. Silver, cool metal, circuit board patterns, integrated circuits, the tiny pathways that connect people every day.
Adrian, is this a proposal?
Yes,
The trial period's not over.
I know, but I can't wait anymore.
Why?
Because if you leave, Chip will miss you. And so will I.
I laughed, and as I laughed, tears fell.
Chip is a dog. He doesn't know what missing someone means.
He knows. He lay by the door waiting for 2 days.
I looked at Chip, sitting by the door, ears up, watching us. His eyes held light, bright as 2 ice blue marbles. He'd waited 2 days, I'd waited 2 days too, but we waited for different things. He waited for a person, I waited for an answer. Adrian, kneel.
What?
Kneel, like you did in front of the servers. He stood, then dropped to one knee. His knee hit the floor with a dull thud. Chip ran over and sat beside him, tilting his head at me.
Evelyn Chen, will you marry me?
Give me the ring.
He blinked, then slipped the ring onto my finger. Silver, bright. The circuit patterns glinted in the light.
Get up.
You said yes?
I said yes, but the terms stay, trial period for life, fail and we're done.
Then I'll never fail.
How do you know?
Because I'll keep learning. How to love you, how to treat you right, how to be someone worthy of you.
I looked at him, his gray eyes, but in the sunlight they'd turned silver.
You're already worthy.
When?
The day you sent the lunar land deed.
He smiled. Like a kid. Chip smiled too, wagging his tail, licking my hand. That night, Chip lay between us, his head on my lap, his tail draped over Adrian's knee.
Adrian, do you regret it? Letting me go on my sister's blind date?
No, because if it hadn't been you, I wouldn't have looked twice.
You only looked once.
Once is enough. Some people take a lifetime to see clearly. I saw you in one look.
Saw what?
That you're someone who doesn't lie.
I leaned back on the couch and closed my eyes. I remembered the Evelyn from 3 months ago, standing at the club entrance in Stella's dress, almost slipping up. She thought it was a con. She didn't know, it was a beginning. The next day, Stella texted. I heard you got proposed to? Yes. Did you say yes? Yes. So my stand-in job is over? Over. Thanks for giving me the chance. She sent an eye roll emoji. I put down my phone and scratched Chip's head. Chip licked my fingers. Outside, the sun was bright, falling on the rose on the windowsill, petals glowing red. The plant was still alive. It had survived 3 months, so had we. The wedding was set for next month, not a grand affair, small, just family and friends. Stella was the maid of honor. Chip was the ring bearer. He'd carry the rings down the aisle in his mouth. We trained for 2 weeks. He trotted down the aisle and stopped right in front of me. He looked up, tongue out, pamping. Chip, thank you. Chip wagged his tail and dropped the box in my hand. I opened it and took out the silver ring with its circuit board engraving. Adrian stood beside the priestess in a dark blue suit, white shirt, no tie. He looked at me, his gray eyes turned gold in the sunlight.
Adrian, will you marry me?
I do.
Will you help me fix servers once a month?
I will.
Will you walk Chip every day?
I will.
Everyone laughed. Stella cried, dabbing her eyes with a towel.
You may now kiss the bride.
He kissed me. Not on the forehead, not tentative, firm. Chip barked beside us. Everyone laughed. Sunlight streamed through the stained glass, falling on us in colors like in painting. After the wedding, we lived in Santa Monica by the sea. Not the house he'd offered. I'd returned it and running ahead a small one myself. Getting scared back, chasing again, backing off again. He'd never learned that the waves wouldn't bite him. Adrian held my hand and we walked along the sand, footprints deep and shallow, washed away by the tide. Waves rolled up over our ankles, cool and salty.
Adrian, do you regret it?
Regret what?
Not meeting me sooner?
No. Because if we'd met earlier you wouldn't have given me the time of day.
Why?
Because back then you only looked at code, not people.
I looked at the sea, the horizon, the sun rising from the water. I still don't look at people. I look at you.
He squeezed my hand. Chip ran back, shook off the seawater, and soaked us both. For our 5th anniversary, we returned to our first meeting club overlooking the sparkling LA skyline. We sat in the same seat with the same food, without wig, lies, or nervousness.
Adrian, what did you think when you first saw me?
I thought, she's not Stella.
You knew?
Yes. Because you said thank you.
What else?
I saw you brush your dress thread. Stella only takes and edits selfies, but you don't.
So you don't like Stella?
I don't dislike her. She needs an audience, but I need a companion.
So what am I to you?
You're my companion. I leaned on his shoulder. LA's lights winked while Chip slept at our feet. No regrets. You made me the lead instead of a stand-in.
Remember the lunar land deed?
I do.
I'd still buy you the moon.
No need. We have enough with the earth. The sunrise dyed the sea gorgeous colors with soft and gentle waves. I met you on a blind date years ago and now live as your true companion. Chip always stays with us by the sea.